to make that happen. I mean, grip strength is probably one of the most correlated indices with longevity.
Yeah, I've heard that, but I don't know why. Why is that?
There's probably two reasons. One is I used to think it was the obvious reason, which is look at the causes of mortality. We have this thing in our practice called the death bars. So one of my analysts, Bob Kaplan, about a year ago, I said, Bob, I want you to make these 5 graphs for me. And they're basically everything about the causes of death. So one of them is just show me all-cause mortality by decade. Now break it down into the subsets. And one of the most common things is accidental deaths. And this is the most interesting trend, is accidental deaths change so much by age. So in our age group, so by the way, accidental deaths are uniform across the population, but they become a much bigger source of death on a per capita basis as you get older because there are fewer older people. In our demographic, most accidental deaths are overdoses. When you're older, they become virtually all falls. 90% of accidental deaths are falls. So a fall is a very lethal thing by the time you're 75. Like you and I don't think about it. By the time you're 75, falling is a devastating consequence.
Isn't that wild?
So think about how strong grip versus weak grip would impact your ability to tolerate a fall. It's, can you get your hand down? Can you grab something when you're falling? All of those things matter a lot. The second reason I think grip strength matters a lot is it is such a good proxy for strength. Because one of the things I've learned in the past year, becoming so obsessive with grip strength, is how, as my hands have gotten stronger, it's alleviated all the shoulder. Like I have a torn labrum here from my swimming days that is so painful. I thought I would never be able to do a dead hang pull-up again. Because whenever I was in this full position, I'm putting so much stress on the labrum. So I was doing pull-ups to here, right? Like I'd go from here to here. And then Beth Lewis, this person in our practice who is kind of like our strength guru, she was convinced that if I could just get my grip stronger, I would fix this. And I was like, Beth, that doesn't even make freaking sense. Like, why does having more grip fix my shoulder? But I just started doing everything she said, like all of these dead hang finger exercises and all this other stuff. And now when I do a pull-up, I can dead hang with zero pain. And I'm just putting all this extra pressure in my finger. And I think the reason is it is allowing us to potentiate force more stably from our scapula all the way through. And so much of the instability we have in shoulders and all these injuries is just because we don't transmit force correctly. So I think something about having really strong grip just basically fixes so much of the upper body strength, weakness, strength imbalances that we have. And again, it's a proxy for people who don't fall. It's a proxy for other things. It is a proxy for muscle mass. The more muscle mass you have, the more glucose you dispose of, the more metabolically healthy you are. So that's my best guess for it.
And what exercises do you do besides dead hang? And what do
so
you
the
do
other things we have people do is, so another important principle of aging, so think about hunting, right? So where are you more likely to hurt yourself? Walking down a steep hill or walking up a steep hill?
Down.
Absolutely. Breaks is everything in life. Eccentric strength matters more than concentric strength. Concentric strength is important, but we overemphasize it. Right? We don't train eccentric strength enough. So a big part of this program is how do you train eccentric strength? So one of our metrics is you have to be able to step down from a 16-foot block and take more than 3 seconds. So you're 16 inches, sorry, I don't know if I said 16 feet. You're 16 inches on a block and you're going to put one step down, but you have to do it in more than 3 seconds. So think about how much control you need in the supporting quad to put yourself down that slowly. That's how you walk downstairs and don't hurt yourself. That's how you have the ability to, stop yourself if you lose balance. We have eccentric modes as well. So you have to be able to hold 50% of your body weight and do a certain number of box step-ups. You have to be able to farmer's carry with 75% of your body weight. So we have, a whole bunch of other things that have to do with ankle mobility. It's a lot of non-sexy stuff that is our top 10.